Hello and welcome to the East County Postgame Show for Friday, August 30th with my partner Dave Dickens. I'm Ramon Scott, talking about the action here on Friday night. Dave, it didn't quite go the East County's way. We did get a couple of big winners, teams that we expected maybe to win and maybe look impressive on Friday night. They followed through with the orders, but it did look like it was going to be kind of a tough slate. We talked about it on our show yesterday, and maybe a rough night for the East County. I don't even know if we really have a surprise for anyone here tonight. It seemed like the teams that took care of business did so in impressive fashion, and the rest of the teams were going to be, like I said, last year week 2 was a little bit of a bummer. This week too, but what was your takeaways tonight? What was your big highlight, Dave? Please tell me.
I was wondering about the jinx. First of all, you said week 2 last year, so I guess we did a repeat of last year. But fortunately, the Granite Hills Eagles and the Grossmont Foothillers, along with the Matadors, were not buying into that. But let's start with the champs. I mean, the Eagles are still flying high. They went into Modern Day, and you know, it was tied at first. It was 14-7, then it's 14-14. You know, they were exchanging scores, and it was looking like, well, wow, is this defense really going to be able to hold up against this? And they're pretty large and fast as far as Modern Day is concerned. And then we scored another touchdown, and eventually just took over the game, and it got out of control. As far as Max and Benitez, and everything they could do was going their way on offense, but credit that defense too. They made some huge tackles. Anything they tried to do on the ground was intercepted immediately, and they'd be lucky if they got 3 or 4 yards. And as you know, Kellen Cobbs is a master when it comes to changing his defenses from the film that the opponent has seen prior.
Yeah, great job by the Eagles tonight. Not worried, I guess, necessarily. I just thought maybe we had underestimated Modern Day. There appear to be still a pretty good program there, but not against the upper echelon of the Eagles. Right up there right now, Dave, number 1 in our poll, number 1 in everything except maybe the computer rankings are number 2 behind Lincoln, but they prove it again with another impressive victory. It was 42-21 at halftime, as you mentioned. Benitez, he hit Lewis with a long touchdown pass in the second half, right before halftime, I do believe. And then Benitez to Diaz for a 55-yarder in the second half. So they went on to pull away, and Turner, a good, strong running there as well. You see some of the highlights here going on thanks to Mr. Zander behind me. That's actually Modern Day first quarter kind of coming down. They countered well. With that 14-14, probably about a minute 30, I think, left in the first quarter, and the game was still tied, Dave. So Granite Hills not calling it a scare at all. I'm sure they have plenty of respect for this Modern Day program.
Well, it seemed like if you listen to the background noise too, every time that the Eagles made a fantastic play or scored, it almost sounds like they probably had more fans or brought the stadium with them. There's just so many Granite Hills fans traveling with them. I mean, state champs, CIF champs, and I don't care what the computer says right now. And as you know, I don't agree with the computers.
Well, we've got number 1, brother.
I think they're number 1, and I will say this right now on the air. I do believe they are a better team than Lincoln at this point. Also, until you can beat them, then they are still the champs, and they will remain the champs. And I think we'll talk about that later, but I think they're going to keep flying high and knocking them down.
Yeah, we'll get the stats in here on the game, but we covered it pretty much how the tempo went. You can go back and watch it thanks to Mr. Zander on YouTube. And see a great video there. Let it roll behind us here while we're talking about the rest of the games. Great job, Dave.
Do you remember what Max said
Oh, when we talked to him last week.
when we did the preview, he did say, no one likes to give Granite Hills the credit that they deserve. It's just
Oh, I don't know about that. I would actually, man, I don't know if he meant that. You're sure that wasn't what you were saying?
no, I remember him saying that, and he says, but then
I
once
think
we
Granite Hills has I'm sure they have the respect right now of everyone. Come on, I mean, this is.
that
I
he
have. Go ahead, Dave.
he said that he was going to show them that they are the team that they are, and they're gonna go out there, and their play is going to show how tough they really are.
Okay, I have 56-28 up there. Maybe there was a late touchdown. I thought it was 56-21, but I saw a late update of a touchdown. So we'll check on it, see what we got. Maybe, just maybe, late score there in the game. Granite Hills next week, maybe a late score there in the game for the Crusaders. But Granite Hills next week, they will host a team. They'll host Perry High School from Arizona here next week, Dave. So they got an invader for their first home game in from Arizona. So then they'll play East Lake after that. And then they'll take on Madison, which took care of business against Steele tonight. We will talk about that game momentarily. But it was Granite Hills tonight, 56, and Mater Dei, we'll call it 28 here, I think. In this one tonight, I'm seeing 56-21 and one of the report 56-28. I had everything written down here ready to go on the air at 56-21 and then saw another update, but nonetheless, a good win here for Granite Hills.
Oh, and I'm gonna just make sure Kellen's probably doing his statistics right now, so
okay, Adam,
maybe he can confirm that.
Okay, after we'll keep it rolling. And we couldn't get anybody to come on tonight. If you're in the chat, let us know. You got a player, you got a coach right now. We'd love to talk some high school football with you here on Friday night. All right. The Mount Miguel Matadors with the win, 54-12 over Rancho Buena Vista. The Matadors roll again. Dave, on Friday night, it was KJ Shields, a big star. Thought about the Matadors in this evolving passing game and all their Division I prospects, but how about KJ Shields, a running back, 65-yard touchdown run, 57-yard touchdown run as well. He also had a short 1-yarder in there. Zane Rodier had a couple of touchdown runs as well. You saw, I don't know, I thought they did have an interception return for touchdown late. And also, I saw when I first tuned in, they were picking something. I don't know if it was a scoop and score or an offense.
Yes, sir. It was a scoop and score. Okay. I want to say it looked like I was flipping through. It was number 4 that, and I don't have my.
Okay, I'll pick you up. Keep going.
Roster, but yeah, it was something of a beauty. I mean, he scooped that right up, and it looked like he took about 10 steps and he was in there. I think at that point they were on a run and they weren't going to stop scoring. Barton, I want to say I heard some of the receivers that they were hitting, but didn't Barton hit Castillo, or was that AJ?
Dave,
or KJ? I'm sorry.
Reaction here to Deanna giving us the score. Isn't that great? Would love that. Love that. D Money, my man, coming to me from Ramona. Thank you, D Money. All right, David, go ahead. AJ Logan had a 5-yard touchdown run, but the passing game was I don't know. I don't think it was necessarily heavily used tonight. It felt like for the Matadors. We'll get the stats later, and I can recite some touchdowns to you here, but just a pretty solid night here for the Matadors against Rancho Buena Vista. Mentioned the Shields touchdowns of 65 and 57 yards, but also an 83-yard kick return. He had that, made it 48-6. What happened on that one, Dave? The kickoff was kind of towards the sideline, and he kind of tippy-toed, just stayed in bounds. He wanted to run it back, and run it back he did. He kind of cut back. Some guys are falling down, and Shields also showed his special teams prowess with that one as well. So I think I will have Cardwell, number 4, Braylon Cardwell, the touted prospect there as well. And I also want to say that maybe it was Phillips, maybe Shahei Phillips with an interception return late. I'm trying to piece it together. We were flying, Dave. There were a lot of touchdowns tonight. I don't even know if I have them all here. I don't think I have them all as well, even though we were on the short end of some of these games tonight. But good job by Mount Miguel. We'll try to see if we can round some guys up there in the weeks to come as well. The Matadors doing great here with their start. We have them right there on the cusp. There's no reason this win is going to knock them down.
I was hoping to hear from Coach, and we saw him on the field. I did call him. He might had to have been in a hurry to get out of there, but that would have been nice to have him and KJ, maybe even Barton on the show. And
Barton's on the team.
So
you need Stowers, Logan, all of these guys.
I wish we could have gotten a hold of them, but it gets later. People want to get home. They want to get showered up, and they want to watch some postseason, or not postseason.
You're doing a great job, man. You're doing a great job. We love the job you're doing. No problem. We'll get these guys here eventually. How about let's move on then. Let's talk about the Grossmont Foothillers, Dave. A big win here, 56-16. The Hillers. Look, we took the Hillers. We know that they were going to be live. I don't know if we were going to beat them by 40 points, but we did tonight, Dave. You watched a lot of this one.
Yeah, I got to say, they did exactly what I predicted they were going to do, and that you agree that they were going to go out and they're going to come out firing. They are not going to stop throwing the ball, especially with Tommy. He is going to throw the ball because that's what he does, and that's what Coach Lawrence loves to do. Mm-hmm. Let's see, and then Noah had 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Mr. Parker had 3.
Wow.
And
had 2. Okay, and you're getting that straight from Coach Lawrence. I saw one media report with Walker with 3 touchdowns, but you're reading a text from Coach Lawrence. 3 touchdowns for Vanderburg and 2 for Walker. Go ahead.
Correct. And then Amari Riley joined in, and he had 1 as well.
Yes, and I saw that one actually.
And then to total their 56, Casey Campbell had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Okay, awesome.
So we did throw the ball quite a bit, but Casey wanted to throw in a little ground game just to sprinkle over the top. But I tell you what, these Hillers, I think a lot of people might have left them for dead after one game, but I think that this squad here, they're going to bounce back, and they're going to be playing in a tough league, but I think that they will, as long as they stay healthy, they will be able to compete.
Oh, for sure. It's going to be fun. They're going to be able to put up their numbers here for sure, but Donovan connected, still showing. Well, I'm going to go with Coach there, but I've seen video of Noah, I think, scoring. I think we might even have one here we can look at. Let me see if I can get this, Dave. See if we might have a highlight here from Raymond. I'm not sure I can. Let me see if I can get it. I don't want to keep us, Dave. We got to keep going here. We really need to be off the air here in a few minutes. But I thought we could get maybe the highlights here from a couple of these today. See what we got here. We're going to bring this up here. Check it out. Highlights, I think, from Raymond. Let me see here. Thanks for being patient, everybody. And Here we go, Dave. We got this will be, I believe, will be Walker here with the score. Let's see what we got.
Touchdown!
With the score there. And then let's see if we get another one here. Watch this one, Dave. Watch it.
Pass completed. Jordan.
And not only did he knock off the defender, but he also took a mean hit. Tommy took a mean hit before he let it out.
It was 30-8 at halftime. Grossmont led, so you get the gist of what happened out there in that one. Great win there for Grossmont. I think you covered most of the scores, so that will certainly get it done. And let me see here.
Ramon, I hate to interrupt you, but just in, I did get a confirmation from Coach Cobbs from the Granite Hills Eagles. And they did get one more touchdown late, and I'm referring to Mater Dei. They did get
well,
the
I've
extra
got my
points.
own. Deanna's my contact. I know you got all the coaches in your phone, but
I'm just saying 66-28.
You're okay.
And he also wanted to, same thing we said. He wanted to say that his defense really shut it down in the second half.
You bet they did. Yep. After that early warning, Mater Dei, they'll probably, I imagine they'll probably end up being pretty good. So I just want to tease Deanna there. She beat Coach back. She beat the Dave Dickens, the Adam Schefter of East County football. I've got Deanna Moore Taylor as my Shams Charania. All right. So Dave, great night for the Foothillers with a 50 burger this season, another 50 burger for one of our teams here. Great job for Grossmont. That 56 points, Dave, equals the most scored on the road for Grossmont since 2013. So that's how things, I think, are kind of looking here right now.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. I could be wrong, but have the Hillers scored 104 points in 2 games?
Well, as someone joked on the internet, and I don't think they would appreciate it very much, they said, congratulations, Grossmont, on stopping your streak of allowing 70 points. That wasn't very nice. I saw someone said that. But all right. Great job by the Hillers. Certainly awesome game tonight at Olympian. And I think we covered at least those touchdowns there. We'll follow up with some stories, hopefully in the morning or whatever we can come up with. Hey, Dave, I got to tell you tonight about the Valhalla Norsemen and their win again. We called this one, Dave. We said Valhalla. We didn't say they win by 30, but you talked about it. I said we would probably lose a lot of games tonight, unfortunately, but we did say Valhalla could go on the road and beat Mar Vista. They did. So how about it, Dave? And a 50 burger for the Norsemen. That's news again right there. They held Mar Vista to -1 yards passing in the game, apparently. We're going to go back on that, but that's what we looked at here. They win this one over the Mariners. They led here 28-7 at halftime. The 51 points for the Orange, that's their best total in nearly a decade as well. Back in 2016, they did put up 57 against Patrick Henry. So another great performance. And Valhalla, maybe we can update those records there, Dave. They're now 1-1, and Mar Vista falls also to 1-1. I do have a couple of updates here. They rushed for at least 4 touchdowns that I know of. Quarterback Jackson Newman, he kept taking off running all game long with some big plays. Look at the Eagles there, or there's the Crusaders. I think that's when they were going in for their second score right there behind me, by the way. For Valhalla, Jackson Newman looked really swift at quarterback, taking off running for big plays. Also, wide receiver Preston Marcos, he scored on a 3-yard touchdown reception. Also, Sacco, we got a Sacco sighting. All my Saccos in Spring Valley, shout out. 35-7 when Sacco caught the touchdown pass from Newman as part of that Valhalla edge. And also, I believe Sensei Smith is what the play-by-play said, 19-yard fumble return. We'll see if we can't get in touch with the Norseman here. Also, Zachary Hagar, 3 sacks and a tackle for loss. Brady Chartel also starred on defense tonight. Great job here for Valhalla with an impressive road win tonight.
Yeah, I think that will be first on the docket. Probably give a call to Mr. Johnson, the athletic director over there, and make sure we can get a hold of Coach and maybe get a couple of quotes and his insight on how he put up all those points, and maybe even get a couple of those fine young men that had great games and get a couple of quotes from them. I think they would love something like that, and that's going to be number 1 on the docket.
All right. Well, I'm willing to keep covering them as long as they keep. Well, we cover them win or lose. You know that, Dave. All right, Dave. I've run out of, I think I've run out of winners. You ready to continue the show? Here we go. It was St. Francis defeating Helix here tonight. They jumped out to a quick lead, led at 1.14 to nothing. Harlan Harris did have a touchdown pass, touchdown reception in that one from, I'll just say Harris had a touchdown reception, kind of tuned out of that one after a while. Helix was down, and I believe the score actually ended up 35-17 in favor of St. Francis. I was kind of updating the scores late. And St. Francis gets when they are indeed 1-0. This was their opener. The team from the Mighty Catholic West Division up there. So St. Francis here with the win over Helix tonight. But a rough one here, Dave. Like I said, I've already kind of downgraded Helix a little bit. Got to be honest with myself and my Highlanders here. Hopefully they'll continue to improve. We know they're going out there with a young squad here at this point, so this invader was just a little bit too much tonight for my Highlanders.
Maybe you'll have something on that by tomorrow, or do you know the last time that the Highlanders started off at 0-2?
Yeah, I do know that actually, Dave. I don't know how long it's going to take me. It was back. Does the pandemic season count?
Why not? It was a trifecta. Three teams won the banner, so why not?
Well, they lost to Saints, and then they lost to Mater Dei in the pandemic season. So, other than
what's going on with your Highlanders? It seems like it for so many years it was my Eagles that were starting off at 0-2 or 0-3, and now we. For the last 3 or 4 years, we've really changed roles.
Yeah. Well, basically, it comes down to starting basically 2021. Almost the whole team was new starters. They had no returning players really, or the starter would transfer in, for example, like Jackson. So they had no returning starters. One wide receiver that kind of had a significant playing time previously. So just a young team. We talked to them early in the season. So they'll improve and they'll get ready in league play. I'm sure they'll give a handful to the rest of these teams. But Helix here next up will be at Saints next week. So I think that'll be a good test because Saints are kind of in the same situation as Helix. They're a totally kind of young team that's had to revamp. But look, that's what Saints just had to do a couple years ago. Doesn't take long for Saints. They revamped it back up, and yeah, maybe some transfers transferred out this year, but whatever. But Saints rebuilt it very, very quickly within just 2 years, 3 years, and we're back to being Saints. So they'll get a good test. It's going to be on the road there next week for Helix.
I still think that's the one that's going to have to step up. If you recall, just a couple years ago when they were a little younger too, and they had Jesse behind center, they had Washington pretty much carrying the ball and scoring just about 80% of the points for the Highlanders, and maybe he's the one that's going to take over Lester to rally the troops. We're 0-2. We need to go in and we need to play Helix football. And we need to know, because I know how big it is over at that school just from the interviews I've done in the past. This is a real big deal, even though it's 2 games and they're non-league. It's a big deal. And losing to the Saints would be not a good thing as far as everybody goes, and that includes their fans. And we'll talk about that later. I'm really, I think I have some faith in them getting that out of their system, though, and possibly a rebound game against Saints.
Got some other finals tonight. We'll just briefly get over. We got to really get out of here. Couldn't get anybody going tonight here. Maybe just because we have too many L's. Madison beat Steel Canyon 35-21 in this one. Madison pretty much in control throughout the game tonight. Dave, the lead was actually a little bit bigger than this throughout the contest. So the win tonight for Madison here at home against Steel Canyon. I'll see if we can't round up something on this one.
They did cough up the ball. Then the Cougars did cough up the ball late too in the fourth quarter. That didn't really help. If you ever give Madison a short field, that's not a good thing. But it seemed to be all Madison on both sides of the ball. Just Steel Canyon hasn't. We thought they got it going last week. I mean, they impressed us, and then they met with Madison. And, even when it comes to anybody in the East County that's played the Warhawks, overall, I bet you they're leading by quite a bit.
Yeah, Madison, that maybe they're bouncing back themselves here a little bit, it feels like right now. So there may be, look, these teams play each other right now quite often, so I could see why. Maybe if it was at Steel Canyon, it might have been a little closer. Okay, got another one here, Dave. Scripps Ranch, they really took care of business tonight. El Cap scored a touchdown late. It gave them a little bit of hope, but they ended up on the short end here against the Falcons, 20-7 at home.
Now, don't let that score tell the whole story.
I won't, but there were only 27 points. I watched a good portion of that game too, and I'm not saying it wasn't exciting. They were.
I gotta say that
but it really felt like it wasn't. Urgency. I don't know what it was. We were having trouble for sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think, and I'm sure they're not going to feel any different about this, but I think the offense was a little sloppy. Some drop balls, even on some little quick out passes. Just balls we should have caught. Having the ball stripped, throwing off kilter and not hitting our receivers. I don't know if maybe they had a miscommunication. But then you look at the other side of the ball, and that defense was, I'm not going to say flawless, but they played really well. And for the offense to do that like they did on tonight, I'd be a little upset being the defense because they played their tails off. Secondary was fantastic. They were blitzing off the edge. They were definitely pressuring the quarterback, and I really thought mid game or after halftime that El Cap had a chance to take this one back, and then Barker threw that one touchdown pass.
Yes. Yes.
Late.
Oh gosh, who had it? Who had it?
Maddox, I believe.
Maddox had it.
Yep.
Okay.
And I thought that might have ignited a spark, but again, if they clean up a few things, I'm sure on offense, and I'm sure that's exactly what Coach Berner is going to do. But hey, hats off to Coach McDade and the defensive coaches, because I'll tell you what, they look really good. And if we straighten out that offense, they are going to be a team to be reckoned with, and they have a chance to win that league. And you and I already talked about it at the beginning of the season.
Well, I have to think right now they're still the favorites there, right, to win the league. So
Yep.
Okay. Well, this was a really good game tonight, and I watched quite a bit of this one because it was kind of wild. But Kearney ended up scoring a touchdown late, Dave, to get the win over Monte Vista within the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game, and Monte Vista had to fight back to regain and take the lead of their own in what was actually a pretty thrilling game tonight at Kearney High School. Monte Vista definitely led late. Kearney went down and scored the decisive touchdown late in the game in this one to hand the Monarchs the loss. Didn't get much of the action down as far as our scoring was concerned. We'll check in with the Monarchs, but they end up on the short end here again, Dave, in this one.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Yamamoto will have I got them all on hopefully on a schedule to get them to us as quickly as they can. I know they need to have a little rest and enjoy their families and such, but Coach Yamamoto has always been good at that. And he says, "Oh, well, it doesn't look the cleanest yet." And I said, "Just send it to us, Ron. we'll figure it out." But what an effort by the Monarchs, though, and don't count them out.
This one I got wrong. Go ahead.
Don't count them out when it comes to league play either. They're going to be another one that's going to be in the fight. And
I got to see a little bit more. They're doing a nice job. This was a good game, but I'm sure. And by the way, I'll update those records. The Monarchs are 0-2 now, right? So.
But they put some points on the board. They weren't blown out.
Nice job, no doubt. Okay. All right, Dave. Let's see here. We got a couple more here, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think. West Hills. I don't believe we don't have a final yet. I think these records are pretty good here. They were down 35-14. That's the last I've seen here. So that was late. It may have just been that they didn't update it. They didn't mark it as final here, but this is the latest I've seen on this one. Maybe we get off the air and go watch the highlight show, or I don't even know if they went to this one. But as far as I've heard, we have University City has come in. I wanted to mention on that last game with Monte Vista, I went with Monte Vista. So did you. I've had all the games picked right so far this weekend. And unfortunately, some of our losses here is. Maybe I saw the handwriting on the wall with our matchups this week. I don't know. But anyways, West Hills, though, did lose here tonight. We know it would be a tough game. I said this would be a tough one. University City looks like they've got a pretty good team. So 35-14 was the last score that we saw. And that's all I know, actually, about this game, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, I would think that had a tough time scoring, and they probably had some big plays, and defense wasn't able to stop them. That's the only thing. I understand they're a pretty speedy group, and they got some serious talent also. So, they were expected to beat West Hills. I was hoping that West Hills would play right alongside them, and I believe I said West Hills would win by a field goal. They I'm not going to say they let me down. I am going to say that back to the drawing board. Coach Ash will definitely have something special for their next opponent, and they are going to play up next for the Wolfpack.
Oh, are you trying to kick it to me and I'm supposed to tell us who we're playing?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Dave. We'll be playing host to the Vista Panthers. So, we should be able to beat Vista, I would think, next week and get that first win of the season. This is this was the first of 4 straight home games for the Wolfpack. So maybe they'll feel a little bit more comfortable after this one. Let me just peek something here. Maybe we can. Nope, I don't have anything. Okay. All right, Dave. One more score that I'll report. It was California School of the Deaf beat Foothills Christian 68-24. Tomorrow night, Bishops will take on Christian, Dave. The Patriots try to improve to 2-0. Check that one out at Granite Hills High School at 7 p.m. And also, I think the El Cajon Valley Braves are going to be on the road against Classical Academy. Heard here. That's a road game for the Braves. That's going to do it, Dave, I think, for our show this week. I don't think I run out of games here. So, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Dave, for your work tonight and checking out all the games with me.
Well, I just wanted to also let you know 2 of our gentlemen that also sponsored,
yes.
They finally got their passes. Finally, they're ready to go just in time for the Christian game tomorrow. So we will be able to. I think there's a lot of people. Even Andy Fierro, my good buddy, said he's thinking about going out there and shooting some photos for the Patriots, and we will take them.
Yeah, we didn't really get a lot of great media out. I wish we had better information. Actually, it's going to take a lot of work to piece this Friday night together. That's the way it is when the teams don't do as well, Dave. It's a little bit harder.
Yeah, and so I'm hoping
some of those teams that won.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that everybody will bounce back tonight. I do want to, as always, definitely thank our sponsors. And that's Granite Mortgage and Lakeside Equipment. And, back to the drawing board for most of our East County teams. But, hey, we're only 2 games into the season. Anybody can win. Anything can change. I think we're going to have a lot of winners next week.
All right, Dave, great job. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. That's going to do it. We'll catch up with you. We'll come by tomorrow, see what happens with our games. If not, we'll catch you next week. For Dave Dickens, I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us.